So this question is about working with the pros when we were launching CSGO. And so we listened to them a lot. In fact, they were the first voices we listened to. And I'll always remember being at New York Comic Con and one of the pros kind of dragging me aside. He's a 1.6 pro. And he was really behind CSGO, super supportive. But he's just like, look, this is how I make my living. This is all I've ever wanted to do. This is what I do 24/7. I practice every single day. I'm really good at this. I want this to be my life. If you screw this up, that's what you're screwing up. It's just not a game. He didn't threaten me, but he was just very clear of like the importance of the game to him. Now, the group of people who play at that level is very small, right? That cohort is very small. But the influence they have is very large, right? So from there, the marketing, right? Because you watch the tournaments and you go, oh, I want to play like that, or you find your favorite and you want to like, emulate them in the game. And so you have that importance. But it's also, it's what puts it on. It put on TV. Is on TBS for a while in the U.S., right? And so it's like those pros are kind of what gets the game going, gives you that aspirational. This is the high end you can play it at. So they're very important. They're very important for the marketing as well as very important for just culturally what it is. And that's what CS always has been, right? And so one of the things when I started in the CSGO team was always trying to stress we're Counter-Strike. We're not something else. We're not Call of Duty. We're not these other games. We're Counter-Strike. And we are the best Counter-Strike that there will ever be. We are the best Counter-Strike because we're Counter-Strike. A million people can make better Counter-Strikes, but nobody will actually make a better Counter-Strike because it's not Counter-Strike, right? And so I spent a lot of time with the pros and in fact did some interviews where people were very antagonistic towards me because of my lack of knowledge of the game. Because I was saying like, it's not actually important. Me knowing it and being good at it is not important. You knowing it and good at it is important. So talking to you is important. Now we are going onto the Xbox and we're hoping for the PlayStation. That's another story. But so we did want to have it be that broad, but we always thought start with the hard professionals is the way to get it there, right? And so, one of the interviews I did, it's somewhere out there, where it's always that thing of person can talk tough online about you, but then when they meet you in person, they're always very nice. And I was like, oh, you're skipping all the real questions. And I just went through the questions that he was skipping of where people were super mean to me, but asking like really direct questions. And it was just like, that's fair. And I try to talk about that here. Like, your feedback about games is fair. Your feedback and your anger and you're like, oh, I can't believe this. Like these games are meaningful to a lot of people. So having that kind of reaction is fair as well. But it's just how you do it, and do it in a way that people can take something away from it is helpful. But so yeah, we listened to the pros a lot, but we also play tested a lot with a lot of other players. I remember Skrillex came in and played CS:GO at one point. So we play tested with a broad range of players. I'm just gonna say they may not have been pros. Very fun. But like great, like we play test with everybody and listen to them, and that builds up the entire game. So that you want to have what they call the skill ceiling is really very high, and then the skill floor is very low. Or in CS:GO, it's Counter-Strike. It's never that low, right? There's always some, unless you're playing the bots like I do. But you want to have that skill ceiling really high so that people can be aspirational and they can invest time into it. Think about it if it's a really easy game, you can't invest time into it because you're going to master it very quickly and it'll become boring. Where it's very hard, so you can spend all that time into it, and the pros is the great way to do it. So yeah, listening to the pros was super important, and they're super great. Man, I kind of actually miss talking to some of them. They're a really fun group of people. So yeah.